Hello, everybody. It's me, Karina. How is your day going? So, today's video is going to be about seasonality, and the reason why I'm thinking about this is because it is literally Wednesday, October 31st, which means Halloween, and you know, that's clearly a seasonal holiday, which I am dressed up as nobody. I'm dressed up as a teacher because I'm teaching you guys how to sell on FBA. But anyways, besides the point. So I wanted to make a video to kind of tell you guys how I find out if a product is seasonal, because a lot of the times you could see amazing numbers and think this is an amazing product to jump into. You do all your research, the margins are there, and then you get it shipped 2 months later, and then boom, the numbers have changed because it is now out of season and it is not selling well. The number one most seasonal thing is Q4, which are the holiday months of the year, especially around December time, which all sales pretty much spike up. So it's not a very active indication of a product is going to sell throughout the entire year. Also beware of holidays such as Halloween, or sometimes sales spike up on Prime Day or Mother's Day, like not Halloween, well, Halloween too, but like Valentine's Day, things like that. So you really want to make sure that when you're researching a product, you check all the ways to see if it's trending, if it's going to be trending. For example, I'll show you guys a ways of how I check them. So for example, since it is Halloween, let's look at Halloween costumes for women. So yeah, like these are, let's just run the viral launch extension on it to see the pricing. You guys can see the numbers are killer already. 96K, 167K, 51K. These are killer numbers. And I'm not saying that seasonality is a bad thing. If some people have products that are just based around seasonality and they just sell them during Christmas, they sell like kiddie pools during the summertime, things like that, floaties, and they make great money, but it's just a different way to approach things. You can look at it from a stability point where you sell an item that's stable throughout the whole year, or you pick something that is, a few products that just pop in and out. You just have to make sure you avoid the long-term storage fees and maybe make sure your inventory gets sold out on time, and that the trend doesn't die next year. But there's just different ways of looking into it. But as you can see here, these are killer sales. All pretty much every single thing is doing really well. But let's close this and just click on one costume. I mean, some of them I'm sure are still selling well throughout the year because maybe you want to be like a ninja for a random midday party. But let's look at this bee costume. So one way to find out is, like I mentioned before, there's a really cool extension called Keepa. So this, you just literally type in Keepa into Google and it pops up. If the internet's fast enough, it pops up faster, but give it a few seconds and it's gonna pop up somewhere in here. If it does, yeah. So right here, Keepa takes a bit to load. So you can see they've been selling for 106 days. So for a specific product, this is great. You click on the days they've been selling and you kind of see what the deal is. This is, of course, not just seasonality. This also tells you about like if they went out of stock, for example. Sorry guys, let me get rid of all this other stuff. It's making the chart look extremely busy and difficult. So yeah, so this is basically the sales rank, which is indicative of how much they're selling, how well they're selling. The lower it is, the better. So this is the green. You can see right now they are absolutely killing it, and they have been killing it last year too at this time because it's seasonal. So it's pretty much, you can't even see it. November, October, that's interesting that they're still selling well in November since Halloween is over. Maybe people are having late Halloween parties December, but still, it's actually past Halloween and their sales rank just went up tiny bit. It's actually not really going up. So for some reason, this one is still doing well, kind of in the months of November and December, as seen by the data of last year. And then you can see that they went up here because, all holidays are over. It's like January, February. No one's really dressing up as a bumblebee in those times. And then, especially around this time, like in June, summertime, no one's dressing up as a bumblebee. So they're not really selling that well. But you can see that their seasonality is, it's definitely there since their sales rank is highly lower during the hot times they're selling. This, however, is still variable because you're looking at a specific product. So This also tells you all the times they've been out of stock. So maybe their sales rank went up tremendously here because they ran out of stock, so they weren't selling well. If you want to actually check a product for seasonality or a trend, a thing I really recommend is Google Trends. So all you do is type in Google Trends right here, and you go to Google Trends, and I have slow internet. So this gives you several options. So if you type in costumes, just the general broad term, if you don't specifically want to go into bumblebees, you go into here and it will give you a pretty extensive overview of how the trend has been. And you can change it, and you can see this is kind of opposite the sales rank. So if it's low, that's bad. You want to make sure it's either pretty stable around here or it goes up. See, it's pretty much at 100% now since we're in Halloween, and you can check it. The best thing I like to do is click past 5 years. So if you click past 5 years, you're going to see a pretty interesting situation that I'm already predicting, and that is this. This is just a textbook seasonality. You guys can see no interest here, and then all of a sudden, oh, even August. In August, it starts to spike, September, and then it's at its peak in late, super late October. October 26th is like the last hurdle crowd of people that try to get their last second costume, have it try to ship to them, prime shipping or whatever. And then you can see that this has been continuing for the past 5 years. And actually, you see it's demand slowly dies down. Maybe people, it seems like Halloween has been dying out over the past 5 years, sadly. Oh, well, what a sad day. Let's look at 2004. I'm curious. Is the Halloween trend just dying out? So it looks like it's been pretty stable, and now it's slowly starting to lower. But even same with things like Christmas. You can see that it's going to be the exact same thing of, oh, it's actually increasing. Yay, people love Christmas more. So you guys can see that it's pretty seasonal. So in November, December time, they're at its peak, and then no one really cares about Christmas throughout these days. But if you look at something like, I don't know, file, or let's look at table. I don't know. I'm just looking at random things. So you can see like this is pretty consistent and in high demand. It looks like it's pretty stable at around 75 throughout the past. Since 2014, it's been the same thing. So this isn't a seasonal item. So that's a really easy way to tell. And honestly, these are the only two ways I find out if a product is selling well on here. And plus Google Trends says it has a high demand. You can see it's not seasonal, and then you're good to sell. Just make sure you analyze that before going into a product, because by the time your inventory gets in, it's possible that the seasonality of that item has ended and now you are stuck with inventory until next year, hoping that the trend of your niche product hasn't died yet. But that's just something to keep in mind. I hope that it was helpful, and thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more videos. And if you have any questions, I answer them in the DMs of my Instagram. So go there, and I will see you all amazing people in my next video.